Non-profit organization African Global Networks and its partners will host the 3-day Resurgence Conference starting on the 17th of November in Harlem, New York. The event aims to highlight the status of black businesses in New York and across the world. This conference celebrates and promotes entrepreneurs while providing resources for those who need them most. For more on this conversation, we are now joined by Wiseman Mkhize, the Southern Africa Regional Director for the 2023 Resurgence Conference. Mr. Mkhize, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Just give us a highlight with regards to the Resurgence Conference. What does it aim to do and what are its objectives?
Good evening, Katleho and the Newzroom Afrika viewers. Thank you for this opportunity. As we have highlighted, the Resurgence Conference is an event which is now 3 years based in New York, in Harlem. We have just been involved as the African Global Networks by my appointment as a divisional director for Southern Africa. The background on it is from, as we all know, we're coming from a deep crisis, pandemic of the COVID-19. Black businesses mostly have suffered a lot. And what we are trying to achieve with this is to open those gates or corridors of trade, where to say these small businesses in New York, they suffer the same as we are here in South Africa, as we know, in terms of the inequality, the challenges that we have, the access to funding, access to markets, all of those. So we are trying to address those challenges by trying to combine and say, what is it that America is doing better that we can learn from? What is it that South African SMMEs, corporates, and even our government can learn from our counterparts? So that's what the conference will be unpacking. We are looking forward to it. We've got a very strong delegation from South Africa, particularly from here in KwaZulu-Natal, where we are hoping it's going to be a really opening of doors for trade. I'm aware that even this weekend there's discussions and the conference on AGOA. So our economy really needs all of us to play the role and see what we can do to change the disparities between these two economies.
You made mention earlier that the challenges that South African businesses are facing are similar to those that are faced by some businesses that are based in the U.S. What do you believe that South African SMEs would be able to teach and bring to this conference when this cross-pollination takes place in order for us to be able to learn from each other?
Well, Katleho, it's an open secret that when we're talking of the U.S. economy, it's the biggest in the world, arguably. So if we have got such an opportunity to work with people like New York Christian Times, the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce, there's a lot that we can learn from them, and an opportunity for our SMMEs to say, even though they won't be able to afford to go to New York, but next year we are bringing this conference to the Durban ICC. They've been very gracious to say we are hosting together with Equity Municipality, where all these SMMEs and big corporates and big banks from America will be coming to our shores in 2024. And when we are hosting this as South Africa, that alone is going to give a lot of boost into our economy and to our GDP, local economy in Durban in particular. But also this is going to be a highlight in 2024, where we are celebrating our 30 years of democracy in South Africa. With all the challenges that we have, there's still a lot that still needs to be done, but there's also a lot that government, we must be honest, has done in terms of opening those gates. We wouldn't be able to go to Harlem and trade and have those networks. And we are hoping that our leaders that we are taking there will take the opportunity to their best of ability to network, to have discussions of infrastructure development, discussions of how do we really open those corridors of trade between our SMMEs and those in the Caribbean and the Americas at large.
And if I'm an SMME and I'm listening to this conversation, which industries would you say would be best suited to benefit from this conference?
Well, it's not really, there is no prescription. Anyone who can be able to say, I have got a product that I think will really thrive in the international space they are free to contact us. We will be able to link them. But also, we are not just going to link them to say, just go and attend the conference. We are able to also assess what are their needs. Who do we pair you with, so that you can be sure that your networking is at another level at that conference. So that's what we are trying to do. If you are selling a pen and you are based in Durban, let's find you somebody who sells the similar pen in New York, and see how you guys can really start to open those corridors of trade. But also, Katlego will be talking to sister city pairing. For instance, if you're looking at a city of a state like Atlanta, a city of Georgia, they trade similar because they have the ports like same as Durban. So why can't we start talking about those? What is it that Atlanta can do better with our port in Durban and the port in Richards Bay? So those kind of things that we will be looking for. New York is, the Wall Street is in New York, the World Trade Center is in New York. It's a financial district. So we're looking for a lot of networks, a lot of opportunities, which are going certainly to benefit our SMEs in South Africa or Southern Africa at large.
Are there programs that sort of prepare our SMEs for such opportunities? Because quite often our SMEs are given access to markets, are given access to funding, but they are not ready as an entity in order for them to be able to trade maybe in bulk or in the numbers that are required. Is there work that is done beforehand before you open up these opportunities for SMEs in order for them to be ready?
That's very true, Katlego. That's very true. Considering where we're coming from as South Africans, black South Africans in particular, where all of this is still new, SMEs, we've got a very few of them that have really made it abroad. I will make an example of the Ethekwini municipality because I know they've got a beautiful program, what they call the business fair and the fashion fair, where they take these SMEs and give them an opportunity to come and display. They do a number of trainings. Even the provincial department, they do that through their economic development department, where there's a number of opportunities to train them, to give them access, how the cooperatives can stay intact. So we are looking for those who are really at another gear to say we are ready now to take our stock, to take our trade with the Caribbeans. We've got a number of interesting speakers there from Zambia, because this is not just America and South Africa. It's looking into South Africa, Southern Africa, and the rest of Africa with the Caribbeans and with America. So we are hoping a number of lessons we'll learn there, and we'll be able to take all those and back home so that we are geared up for 2024 when Durban is hosting this next year.
Of course. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best. And for those markets to be opened up to our SMEs, because we do know that they are the lifeblood of our economy. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Mkhize. That was the Resurgence Conference Southern Africa Director, Mr. Wiseman Mkhize.